Yes, the end of another long day. Time for some mindless internet scrolling on Facebook to wind down. Oh, look at all the cute family photos. My cousins are so great. Wait, what? Did that just say Pope Francis fake news is like getting sexually aroused by feces? What? Is this real? Is the internet lying to me? How do people verify if a source found on Facebook or other social media sites is real? I must go on a quest to find the answers. I shall search all across campus to learn how to find accurate information on social media. My first stop in my grand quest was to find out how my fellow college students got their information. I wanted to know how they got their news and why there were so many fake news stories swirling around the internet. Did people just believe everything they read online, or were these fake news sites using rhetorical storytelling strategies to lure people into their web of lies? To answer these questions, I interviewed my fellow college students.
Okay, first question. Do you keep up with current news?
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
Where do you get your news information?
Goes there, come on.
Usually BBC News online or NPR News online.
Do you use any social media sites to get news, like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter?
No, not really. Unless it's like news with celebrities or like artists or people that I like keep up with.
Do you trust information that you find online easily?
No, I'm usually kind of skeptical depending on the source. Yeah, I have to look at the source.
How do you find the sources?
The link in the description, or if they say rate, comment, and subscribe, they're not a journalist, etc.
Good to know. Thank you. Sophie, do you keep up with current news?
For the most part, I do.
All right. Where do you get your news information from?
So I signed up for a newsletter a long time ago. It's called The Daily Skim, and it gives you kind of like a recap of what's happened for that day. And then every once in a while I'll scroll through news stuff on my phone.
So do you use any social media sites to get your news?
Like Facebook?
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube.
No. Well, I guess YouTube, because
Yeah?
that's where I get, that's where I watch the like comedic news people.
All right. Do you easily trust information you find online?
Depends on the website, but in general, no.
So do you ever check the sources that you read in these articles? Do background?
Yeah, especially if they have links, or what I'll do is if I read it on one source, I'll try and go see if other sites are reporting about it.
Very nice. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Those interviews were helpful, but now I want some scholarly information. Time to get down and dirty with my research. That's right, time to go to the most feared place on campus, the library. Okay, that's too scary. Maybe just the library database. Alright, after some thorough online searching, here are the best, most relevant articles I could find about verifying information online.
An article by Bern Becker points out that fake news is not in fact new, and that librarians have been fighting it for 3 decades and counting. Becker then goes on to make the point that a healthy dose of skepticism can act as a catalyst for information-seeking behaviors. However, there is a need for caution when it comes to skepticism. A study by Stephanie Edgerly asked students how they would seek out information about a news event. While some offered the traditional answers of the New York Times or NPR, some expressed belief that no single news source offered credible information. One particularly memorable response said, "I don't know if there really is such a thing as I would call a credible news source." However, there are credible sources out there. An article by PolitiFact created a fake news almanac that lists a multitude of sites that have been caught publishing fake news. They also point out in the article that Facebook is working to create a notification that will alert you when you share a link that is disputed by a third-party fact-checker outside of Facebook. Scholar Trudy Jacobson believes students need better meta-literacy skills. Meta-literacy simply refers to information literacy in an online setting so that students can still find some valuable information online without being fooled by fake news sources. Essentially, Jacobson wants students to break out their critical thinking skills so that they can delineate between fact and opinion when finding information online. Jacobson does realize that meta-literacy requires us to think beyond discrete skills development in one-shot library sessions. So yes, learning how to find accurate information online may take time, but you can do it. So, what should you take away from this video? First, skepticism is good, but in small doses. You need information from somewhere. 2, there are tools on the internet that will alert you to how to find trustworthy news, and yes, trustworthy news does exist. 3, your critical thinking skills. Practice them whenever you can. When you read online, think, who's publishing this? Where did they get their information? And do they have an agenda? All of this relates back to storytelling in that we use the same tactics to get our stories out there. Everyone thinks, what am I trying to say with this story? How can I convince people to listen to what I have to say? Well, now you know, just like I'm using this dog right now to keep your attention in this video. See, it's all tactics. Think about why things are being told to you the way they are. That's how you'll find the fake news.